Hey guys, welcome back. Just thought I'd do a quick video on 6 sort of essential things you need to get prepared, ready for if the worst is to happen, or if we start to hit a Great Depression. These are probably, as I see, 6 very important things you need to get covered for when it happens. So, first on my list would be food. How many people do you have living in your household? Have you got enough food for all of them? And once you've got enough food for everybody in your household, what happens when family and friends start coming knocking on the door? Have you got enough to feed them? Have you set a plan in action for an overspill, so when they do come knocking, you have got some spare to hand out? If people see this, like your next door neighbours, have you got enough for them? Or are you basically just going to turn around and say no, it's all yours? One thing what I like to do is when I do my weekly shop, I make sure 20% of it is for storage. So if I spend £100, I'll make sure £20 of that is invested in pasta, rice, tinned goods, whatever I can find. I'll make sure I'll get and put it to the side. As you're building up your food prep, you have to think to yourself as well, how are you going to store it? Now, usually when you do your shopping, you fill your cupboards and jobs are good 'un. But if your weekly shop or monthly shop has already filled your cupboards, where are you going to put your food? So you have to start thinking, where are you going to store all this extra food? And you don't want it in plain sight. So if you have stacks of it sat in your living room where people can just either look through your window and see your stockpile, or if you have friends and family over and they all start asking questions, then they know you've got your stash. When doing your food prep, also think to yourself, if you've got kids, what sort of foods kids will like. Noodles and sweets and crisps, they all have a good life date on them, and it is essential that you get them in for the kids. Flavoured juices for water is another great one as well. Also, have you got pets? How much pet food have you got? And what will you do once you run out of pet food? When thinking about your storage as well, you need to try and hide your food prep so nobody can see it. In some cases, when it's got that bad, the government have come into people's houses and taken their food. If this happens and it gets that bad, and you need to protect your food from soldiers or other people in your area, a good idea is to have your main hidden food stash, and then one which is a bit easier to find, like under the stairs. So when they do break in, searching for your food, they find your small stash and think that is your food, and take that and scarper, leaving you with your actual food stash hidden up. If that ever does happen, a great thing what to do if they do break in, take that food and go, is to go into your main stash and replenish your small stash, ready for if it happens again. This could happen a number of times as the months go on, so make sure you keep replenishing it, and if somebody comes in, you can pretend that's all your food, let them have it, and off they go. The main thing about the food prepping is, so if the shit does ever hit the fan, you're not there with the rest of the people in danger in high volume situations where you're all at the supermarket or at farmers markets. This is where the problems happen, and you don't want to be part of it. So whilst all that's going on, you're safely tucked away at home, away from the violence. So moving on to number 2, water. And again, how many people are living with you? The US National Academies of Science, Engineering and Medicine recommend that men have 3.7 litres of water a day and women have 2.7 litres. Now, food alone gives you 20% of your daily amount of fluids, but you need to make up the other 80%. I worked out for 4 of us the amount of water what we would need for cooking, cleaning and sanitising would be roughly 6,000 litres. Where on earth do you put 6,000 litres of water if you're in a flat or in a town with a small garden? What on earth are you going to do with that? When it comes to your water, you got to think storage. Water takes up a lot of space and it is very heavy the more you have. So you got to think, where are you going to store your water? Have you got a garage? Is it going up in the loft? Is it going under the stairs? When it comes to storage as well, what sort of containers are you going to use? Are you going to buy water what's straight from the shop? That way it already comes in a container, but the price of it does go up. Or are you just going to use tap water, filter it and then store it? If you do that, it usually only lasts 6 months, so make sure you replenish it and refill every 6 months to make sure you're not drinking out-of-date water. I have a few straw filters, which are little great bits of kit. You can chuck them in your backpack and you can drink most water, barring seawater, with these straws. Water isn't the only way to stay hydrated. Fruits like watermelon and spinach are almost 100% water by weight. The general rule of drinking water is 8 glasses a day. But factors such as exercise, the environment, overall health and pregnancy all plays a big part. So if you're having to walk miles to go and get some water, going to the next village for food or anything like that, you've got to take it into account when you're drinking water, because you're going to be more dehydrated. So make sure you're always topped up. So number 3 on the list would be fire. Always make sure you're able to start a fire. So we have different means of fires. If it's not too bad, you've always got your central heating, your normal gas fire, things what you usually use in the house. But it's when those things stop. Once the gas stops, so you've got no gas oven or gas hobs or gas fire, what do you use instead of these? This is where propane gas fires come in, or your butane ones. Barbecues, what you use in your back garden, just make sure you still use them in the back garden, not inside the house. Rocket stoves, normal fires what you build yourself, but when you do these you need to make sure that you've also capable of starting the fire, whether it's just with matches or lighters, windproof matches, weather resistant ones. Make sure you've got a way of starting a fire and then a backup and then a backup of a backup and a backup of the backup of the backup, just to make sure all areas are covered. Once you've got your fire, make sure you've got a fire which covers heat, so it will keep you all warm, and make sure you've got some means of a fire to cook with, so you can cook your foods and sterilize your water. These are your main functions of your fire. Once you've got them nipped in the bud, you're good. Coming in at number 4 is fitness. How fit are you? Are you ready to start training? If you are, you need to start training now and focus on endurance. Maybe self-defense as well. So if somebody does come to try and attack you or break into your home, you're able to defend yourself and your family. Are you able to walk 10-20 miles? That's all you might need just to get to the next village and back to stock up on your supplies. There's not really a lot more you can say with fitness, but you need to start to think, are you fit enough for what's coming? Number 5 on the list, security, which this can go into 2 categories, home security and self-security. So we'll start with home security. Have you got CCTV cameras? Have you got good locks? What does the front of your house look like? If it's well maintained, people know you're at home. If you're at home, then they know you've obviously got a food stash and it's bugging in. Have you got bars on the windows? Have you got an escape plan? If people break in, will you be able to safely leave without getting in danger? Can you put booby traps in your house? Have you got weapons? Depending where you live, have you got guns? And the last one would be dogs. If you've got a pet dog, it's a great deterrent for burglars. Moving on to self-security. Have you taken up self-defense classes? Have you got a gun? Can you carry knives where you are? Have you got body armor what you can use to go out in? Or maybe just put extra layers on, so if somebody does try to attack you, it takes some of the force impact away from you. Number 6. If you made it this far, congratulations listening to my voice. So number 6, electricity. Have you got backup power, as in a petrol or diesel generator? Or better yet, have you got an electric generator? Have you got solar panels or a wind turbine? They're great solar panels for your electric generator and charging up just normal batteries. Speaking of batteries, have you got batteries? Plenty of them for your torches. Have you got car batteries? And if you've got car batteries, have you got, again, the means of charging them by solar panels? Have you got inverters, power inverters, to put with your car batteries so you can change DC to AC? Change it from 12 volts to 240 volts. Have you got recharging packs for phones and tablets, maybe to keep the little ones occupied? Have you got hand-wind radios so you can keep in touch with what's going on, or hand-winded torches? Have you got a small electric hob to cook with, or a small heater to keep you going? Well, there you have it. They're my top 6 preparations to make sure you've got in. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Sorry about my voice, like I said before, it does drone on. But hopefully you've taken something away from this video and it's got you thinking about what you might need to start getting in. If you've liked it, please don't forget to like and subscribe, where I'll keep updating more prepping videos. Cheers, bye.